Welcome to the Sleep Stories channel by UZZ. I am delighted to share a new story with you. Before we begin, please take a deep breath and relax your body. Then, find the most comfortable position for yourself and get ready to soar into the universe of stories. This summer was exceptionally sweltering, as if even the cicadas perched on the trees had been baked to the point of losing their vigor to chirp. Fortunately, following last night's heavy downpour, the temperature dropped significantly, much to Mr. Gray Bear's delight. He knew this was a harbinger of the impending autumn. Therefore, today he ventured outside to purchase a plethora of ingredients and, together with Miss Gray Bear, they prepared a lavish dinner to celebrate their survival through the grueling summer season. After a satisfying meal, they nestled against each other on the sofa, watching television and relishing the companionship. However, Mr. Gray Bear gradually noticed that Miss Gray Bear, who was nestled in his arms, seemed to be growing increasingly warm. Turning to look at her, he observed that not only did her complexion appear somewhat pale, but her forehead also felt feverish to the touch. Concerned, Mr. Gray Bear inquired if she was feeling unwell. In a weak voice, Miss Gray Bear responded that she felt lethargic and powerless, and her entire body was overheated. Alarmed, Mr. Gray Bear immediately suspected that Miss Gray Bear might have caught a cold, so he promptly grabbed the phone and dialed the forest's reindeer doctor. Hearing the anxiety in Mr. Gray Bear's voice over the phone, the reindeer doctor quickly reassured him not to worry too much and promised to visit Mr. Gray Bear's home shortly. In the meantime, he suggested that Mr. Gray Bear could apply a wet towel to Miss Gray Bear's forehead to help cool her down. After hanging up the phone, Mr. Gray Bear gently carried Miss Gray Bear to the bed, swiftly prepared a damp towel, and carefully applied it to her forehead, all the while comforting her in hopes of alleviating her discomfort. It wasn't long before the reindeer doctor arrived with his medical bag in tow. After thoroughly examining Miss Gray Bear and listening to her symptoms, he confidently assured Mr. Gray Bear, "She seems to have a slight fever, likely due to the change in seasons and her body's inability to adapt. There's no need for excessive worry. I'll prescribe some medication for her. Make sure she takes it on time, drinks plenty of water, and rests well. She should recover quickly." Grateful, Mr. Gray Bear saw the reindeer doctor off and then returned to Miss Gray Bear's side to administer the medicine. Seeing her in distress, Mr. Gray Bear felt a pang of sorrow in his heart. He gently stroked her head, praying for her swift recovery. They lay quietly together, with moonlight gradually filtering through the window and casting a silvery veil over the bed. Miss Gray Bear turned her gaze towards the window, observing the moon, and suddenly asked if he had ever heard of the moon's tears. Puzzled, Mr. Gray Bear shook his head and asked, "Tears? Can the moon cry too?" Miss Gray Bear smiled softly and said, "When I was a child, my grandmother told me that whenever we are sick and in pain, the moon would shed tears for us. Those tears would silently merge into our hearts, giving us strength." Mr. Gray Bear responded softly, "Then let me be your exclusive moon." Miss Gray Bear playfully slapped him, retorting, "You're so strong. You never cry. Why do we need you to be the moon?" Mr. Gray Bear chuckled sheepishly, holding her tightly. "Even if I can't shed tears, I will always be by your side, providing you warmth and strength." Miss Gray Bear's lips curled into a smile as she snuggled into Mr. Gray Bear's embrace and slowly drifted off to sleep. As time passed, Miss Gray Bear's body temperature gradually normalized, and she no longer felt feverish. Mr. Gray Bear finally breathed a sigh of relief. The night deepened, and his eyelids grew heavier until he, too, fell asleep. Outside, gentle breezes wafted by, causing the tree shadows to intermittently scatter the moonlight into numerous delicate points of light that momentarily fell upon them through the room's window before vanishing. It almost seemed as if the moon's tears had indeed merged into their hearts.